What's going on, everyone? Jeremy here from The Quartering, and oh boy, bad news for Netflix as they've lost nearly $50 billion today alone after brutal new numbers came out that just seemingly shocked everybody and Wall Street and really the world, I guess. Not us. We know. Netflix has a few, peanuts in the log, so to speak, that are okay. But honestly, I think most people are finding that you're just really paying for a ton of filler. Occasionally, you get a mega hit like Squid Games or the first season of Tiger King or, early Stranger Things. These were shows that drove subscriptions because they were really good. But what happens is you subscribe and you're like, okay, I watch these 8 episodes. What else do you have? And the answer is literally nothing. Terrible, low-grade Hollywood movies. They get these Hollywood actors, they pay them a ton of money, and they just put out garbo movies. The original programming is really what's hurting them. On top of that, all the competition, for example, like Disney Plus and Hulu to a lesser extent, but Disney Plus and like Peacock, they're pulling their original programming away. So you used to be able to watch The Office, you used to be able to watch The Simpsons, you used to be able to watch, I think some Seinfeld's still on there, but all these shows gone. And really, people are starting to do the math. I predicted this. Because, well, my biggest client forever and ever was a cable provider, well, really satellite TV provider. And I predicted this long ago that everybody was going to get into Netflix and Hulu, and they had those two. Then they were going to get fractured and fractured and fractured. And suddenly you weren't saving a ton of money by cutting the cord. You were spending just as much, if not more. I've made this own argument in my own house because it's ridiculous. You want Hulu with live TV, that's like $90. That's as much as I was paying for cable. Then you want another $15-20 for Netflix, another $10 for Disney Plus, and others. And then eventually you're just like, I'm over it. Well, a few days ago, Netflix actually raised prices again, I think for the 5th or 6th time now. And now we know why. Very bad news. Netflix shedded $50 billion in market cap after its borderline catastrophic forecast. Executives expect less than half of the new subscribers that analysts projected for the first quarter of 2022, sent the shares down 20%. And by the way, look at that. It's down 24% today. This week, sorry. Today, 22%. Savage. Netflix brought in more than 8 million new subscribers in the holiday quarter, but executives predicted the growth would suffer much more than expected at the beginning of 2022, sending shares screaming lower on Friday. Netflix, down 23% on Thursday afternoon, reported 8.3 million net new paid subscribers in the fourth quarter, trailing its own forecast for 8.5 million, but roughly hitting the average analyst forecast of 8.3. Giving the streaming video service 221 million subscribers. So, they're making tons of money. The number allied some of the stark warnings of analysts, including JP Morgan, but executives do see precipitous slowdown ahead. They predicted just 2.5 million net new subscribers in the first quarter of this year. That's the quarters every 3 months. Less than half of the 5.8 million that analysts were projecting. Netflix shares plummeted more than 20% Friday morning in trading, lopping off more than $50 billion in market cap from the streaming giant. Thursday's trading session worth about $225 billion. The deadline is more than the total market cap of Zoom Video Communications. And even on CNN, the sky is falling for Netflix. Netflix stock has tumbled nearly 41% from the all-time high it hit just 2 months ago. It's gaining subscribers at a painfully low pace. Competition is heating up. The company's answer to it all? It just raised prices. And that's going to be like, again, this, I'm sure the price increase is going to cause some people to quit. And by the way, not just with Netflix, but maybe consider this over the weekend. I do this every couple of months, and it's really saved me a lot of money. You know how many things, I wish I had a sponsor read for this, but there are services that do it, but I do it by hand. Examine what you're paying for every month. Just look at your credit card statement. I found that I wanted to watch this one thing on Amazon Prime, and I signed up for a Paramount Plus subscription, and it shows up on my credit card every month as some bizarre thing like Amazon 274 whatever $3.99. Well, I had like 4 of those, and I realized, how long has this been going on? A year, 2 years, wasted hundreds of dollars. Think about it. When's the last time you opened Disney Plus? When's the last time you actually opened Netflix? When's the last time you opened Hulu? Probably not as often as you think, and you could certainly live without a lot of this stuff. After surging to the top of the streaming mountain, Netflix is struggling to climb higher as its rivals gain more ground. It looks like they're hitting maturity, Michael Nathanson, a media analyst, said. They keep raising their prices, and now in order to maintain a level of subscribers they have, they continually add more and more new content, and the content is inherently a hard business to predict with peaks and valleys. It wasn't that long ago that Netflix stock was a stock darling, but in those days, they feel like eons ago. Well, at the end of the day, Netflix programming just sucks. I don't want to pay money to a company that spends money on programs like Cuties. Netflix ended 2021 with 221 million subscribers, significantly more than others in the streaming marketplace, including Disney, one of its closest competitors, with 118 million. The other thing is, this isn't, how do I say this? Most people have more than one. I would assume 1 or 2, maybe 3 even. 118 million subscribers as of October, and it grew subscriptions 60% during October 2020 and October 2021. During the same period, Netflix only grew 9%. Well, they're probably reaching max saturation, to be honest with you. And now people like me, people like my viewers, they're saying, is Netflix even worth it? Is the $15-20 a month even worth it anymore? You know what I tell a lot of people, excuse me, I try to tell them that, okay, here's a common conversation I'll have with somebody, about this. Oh, what do you watch on Netflix? Oh, I watch Stranger Things. Anything else? Well, no. Just that and maybe whatever. Why are you subscribed all year long? Subscribe for a month and then cancel it. Too many businesses out there rely on us forgetting to cancel things. I should know. And when I was in running a marketing agency, many of my clients were like that. This is the model for the gyms in America. They sell way more memberships than they could possibly ever hold inside their doors, but they count on you forgetting about it. They count on keeping you under an absurd contract that you can't get out of. This is a very common model in internet space world. Free trials, this is common. Disney hasn't yet reported its financial results for the last 3 months of 2021, but Netflix's growth slowed even further in its fourth quarter to just 8%. Netflix is struggling to find more people to sign up in the markets it has been playing in the longest, particularly the United States. The company is going to have start aggressively going after growth in developing markets, such as India and other Asian Pacific countries, to keep moving forward. Isn't that funny? Isn't that just the way it is in Hollywood too? Right? Americans start turning away of Hollywood's woke trash, and then they have to go to other markets. Except what happens then is the viewers that they have in the West find even less relevant content to watch, and they tune out. I can see where this is going. They're going to chase India. They're going to chase, China, whatever. But then that means all the new content they're going to put out is going to be about appealing to them, which is fine. But again, it will leave the West again feeling more alienated and feeling like they're getting a lesser product. This is entirely true of Disney, right? With their movies. Half the movies they make, their first thought is about appeasing China, not about making a good movie. The problem with relying exclusively on subscriptions for revenue is after a while, you run out of people who haven't subscribed. The bad news for Wall Street investors who are mostly concerned with the company's ability to grow. The vice president of programming at research-based media firm believes that Netflix's fall is more of a Wall Street thing rather than something that reflects the business in trouble. They still added subs. They still have the same high usage and viewership metrics he added. However, he pointed out that long-term, Netflix will have to deal with the fact that you literally can't keep adding subscribers. Well, yeah, they're just going to keep jacking up the price. And eventually that's going to lead to people not wanting any part of it. Today, the Dow's down at this point 500 points, S&P down 80, NASDAQ down 350. It's a brutal day in the stock market today, and Netflix is suffering the brunt of it, and it couldn't have happened to better people. Hope you enjoyed this video. We'll talk to you again real soon.